Hello, folks, and welcome to the channel update for February 2016. As usual, I will talk about the stuff that I consider more essential in the beginning, and we'll have some kind of behind the scenes, possibly boring stuff at the end for those of you who actually want to stick around for it. To start with, I want to ask a question. This way, I guess you guys can think about and answer this question while you're listening. I'm curious about what your viewing habits are as far as YouTube, specifically gameplay videos. Do you tend to watch just like on the way to school or on the way to work? Do you tend to watch while you're, when you get home from the evening? Do you watch while you're at work? I'm curious how you watch, first of all. Secondly, I want to know how you watch the series that you watch. So do you start from the beginning, like say a Fallout series, and watch it all the way through? And you don't stop, or do you kind of get behind because you can't watch that much, so you just kind of pick up wherever you left off? Or do you get behind and you're like, well, I don't want to watch the last 10 videos, I'm just going to pick up with whatever's the newest? Or do you say, well, I'm just so behind now, I feel like I can't catch up, so I'm just going to watch something different or watch something newer? I'm curious. Obviously more detail is better, but I'm just curious how other people watch. For example, I don't watch that much anymore just because I'm kind of busy doing my own thing. But I used to watch Let's Plays all the time. And usually what I would do is like I would just think of a game, or, if it was a specific game I wanted to watch, I would just search YouTube and check a few until I found somebody that I liked and binge watch it, basically. I'd either have it on a second monitor while I'm doing something else, like browsing the web, or if I was playing a repetitive game, like an MMO, I would just have it on another screen. If it was late and I'm kind of winding down for the day, a lot of times what I would do is just bring a playlist up. In particular, a lot of times I'd bring up a playlist of a series I particularly enjoyed, and I would like lay on the couch because my second monitor at the time was my television. So I would make it full screen on the TV and then lay on the couch and just end up falling asleep while it played. The other way I found stuff to watch was I had specific YouTubers I would follow, and whenever they had something new, I would watch it. Now, depending on how much I like them, I might watch everything they do. I might, skip some stuff, depending, blah, blah, blah. But just kind of give you an idea of the information that I'm looking for. And I tended to, when I was watching them a lot, I had a lot of time. Like, I would have them playing in the background. Even at work, I would just, have the audio playing in the background, even if I couldn't watch it, just as background noise. So, anyway, yeah, that's how I tend to watch. And if there's a series I particularly liked, it was not uncommon for me to go back and rewatch it just because, I thought it was very good. So anyway, that is what I'm curious to hear from you guys. So first thing and most important thing, at least in my opinion, is a change of format. Typically, I try to do, historically, I've tried to do videos every single day for every single series that I'm doing outside of special stuff like Let's Tries and Tea Times. However, since I've changed to longer videos, 30 to hour plus long videos, with a 40-hour-a-week job, it's very difficult to have multiple series going where I'm recording like that much and trying to keep it up daily. So I've kind of thought about how I want to do that. So what I plan on now is when I start a new game, like I just started Tomb Raider, for example, I will play that for several weeks. It'll be daily uploads or scheduled daily uploads. Sometimes stuff happens, technical problems, etc. But the plan is to have them daily. So again, in this case, it would be Tomb Raider, Blade and Soul, Kung Fu Master, and Blade and Soul Force Master. All of those are going to be daily for a while. And then once I kind of get to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I've churned out a lot of this, and maybe a lot of people are behind, and a lot of people aren't even able to keep up with what's going currently, I'll drop it down to anywhere from 3 to 5 days, depending on how popular it is, depending on how much I'm enjoying it, whatever random factors I pick up on. So, for example, like Fallout. I've beat Fallout and the videos, or that series, up to like almost 70 parts now. So I feel like there's tons of content to watch, so I'm dropping it to 4 days a week. And I might drop it a little bit more, but I'll probably stick it for 4 days a week until I decide that I'm done with it, because like I said, I beat the game. Now I'm just doing side quests, but I kind of want to keep playing, so I'm going to keep playing. So, and I'll go more in detail into the actual schedule in a bit, But yeah, that is the plan. The time frame should stay the same. So 30 minutes to 60-minute long videos is the goal. They usually end up being around 50, but whatever. But yes, that's the new plan. Obviously, I still have to be careful because I can't have 7 different series that I'm uploading 3 to 4 times a week because that would be insane. The reason this is good is because, one, it helps me to schedule so that I have a solid schedule. I know a lot of people care about having certain games on certain days. So that'll help me stick to a schedule better. It'll also help my uploads not be so sporadic. I know a lot of times it's like upload every day and then all of a sudden that series is gone for 2 or 3 days and then suddenly it's back. So I want to avoid that, and I'm hoping this will help me do a better job of keeping this scheduled. Also, it will help there be more variety in the channel. In that, so I hear a lot of people say, yeah, I know you're doing this series, but when are you going to play something different? Like, I don't like this game, or, you've played this game for a long time, and I don't like any of the other stuff that's going on. When are you going to play something different? So this will help me keep a little variety in the channel. I will intentionally try to mix up the types of games. So I have like an RPG and an FPS and, a strategy game or whatever. Obviously, we've got multiple MMOs. This is going to be an MMO heavy couple of months. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. Blade and Soul, I'm enjoying it a whole lot. And quite frankly, it's very popular. So that encourages me to keep doing it. Black Desert Online was also pretty popular, and I also enjoyed it. The beta is later this month, and the release they just announced is going to be in March. I forget the exact day, but it's coming in March. So expect more Blade and Soul. Expect more Black Desert Online, and it both will probably be daily at least for a while. We'll have to see how it goes. But anyway, I do try to keep it varied so that, depending on what you like to watch, there's something for you there. So that's one of the big benefits you guys will get. More consistent uploads and more variety in what's coming up. Also, some of you might have noticed some of my videos switched to 1440p a couple months back. I'm going to be dropping back to 1080p. I'm not going to get into the boring details. That's for the aftermark, I guess you could say, of this video, which I'll talk about it more in depth. But the long story, or the short version is, I can't get games to run, or I can't get games to record consistently at 60 FPS at 1440p, and it's driven me up the wall. I've spent countless hours on it, and I cannot fix it. And I think the vast majority of you are probably watching at 1080p or lower. And on top of that, even if you're watching at 1440p, I think the viewing experience is better for you guys if I'm getting a consistent 60 FPS as opposed to recording at 1440p and it keeps hitting 40 FPS or even lower in some cases, even though the game is running fine at 60 FPS. So do expect that. I'm going to do the same with Fallout. Fallout is going to go back to 1080p because it's one of the worst offenders, actually, until I can get this figured out. Let's see. I do have an actual schedule now. So that should please some of you. Theoretically, I should have it popping up on the screen now. But very quickly here, let me pull it up so I can see it. Sorry, I meant to have this up already. So right now, and I will try to have, like, during these monthly updates, I'll try to talk about the schedule. I probably need a better place that you guys can see it. I'll have to think about that. I don't know. If anybody knows a good place that I can share, like a public calendar, that you guys can see but not edit, because you rascals, I don't need dicks all over my calendars. But if anybody knows, I could probably do that with Google Calendar. But anyway, if you guys know a good solution to that, or if you know if there's any kind of public or a solution that other folks use to keep you guys in the loop on what the schedule is going to be. But anyhow, yes, there will be a schedule. Right now, the schedule is Sunday, Blade and Soul Kung Fu Master and Blade and Soul Force Master, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Fallout 4. Monday, okay, let me just to cut this down a little bit. Every single day will be Blade and Soul Kung Fu Master. Every single day will be Blade and Soul Force Master. Every single day will be Rise of the Tomb Raider. Again, for a couple of weeks. Sunday will be Fallout 4 as well. Monday will be Fallout 4 as well. Tuesday we'll have a Let's Try. Wednesday, we'll have Fallout 4 and Don't Starve Together. Thursday, we'll have another Let's Try. Friday will be Fallout 4 and Metal Gear Solid 5. I haven't forgot about that series. And Saturday will be Don't Starve Together. So as you can see, it's very packed. Again, especially considering it. Please do keep in mind that I've got a full-time job, so it's quite difficult to try to keep up with this. I am trying very hard to do that, though. But, yeah, hopefully I can keep up with the schedule. Quite frankly, there's a pretty damn good chance that I won't be able to. In fact, this week, it's definitely not going to be on. But I feel like this is going to help me, again, keep you guys with more consistent updates instead of them being so sporadic, barring any weird technical issues. But that is the schedule. As far as times, I'd be curious to hear what times you guys listen. If you could give it in, like, GMT time, that would help. If you're not familiar, you can just take whatever time zone you're in and take a time and then do a Google search for GMT converter. I'd be curious when you guys watch. I tend to start my uploads at 1 p.m. and then like it's every half hour after that. I might make it once an hour since videos now tend to be 30 to 60 minutes, but that's totally negotiable. I'm not like set in stone on any of that. Let's see, next up, let me go back to my list. Oh, a little self-plug here. Make sure you guys check out Super Game Talk. It's supergametalk.com. That is our podcast. Some of you might remember it. We've brought back Travis, or well, I guess Travis has brought back me since he's technically the host. And there's actually a new person with us, Joey. And we don't talk about news items really anymore per se. We're more focused on ideas. So, for example, we've had a podcast where we talk about virtual reality, like what could potentially come of virtual reality. Is it a fad? Is it the next big thing, etc.? We have another episode talking about Bethesda's bugs and jank and why is it acceptable? Why are they given a pass while other companies are like really ran over the coals whenever they release buggy software? So we talk more about ideas. I've really enjoyed it so far. There's 2 episodes up. I'll have a link in the video description. But if you just go to supergametalk.com, it's there. You can also pick it up on iTunes. If you do listen and if you do enjoy, definitely give us a rate if you would. That helps us a lot. Also, any feedback on the podcast is absolutely very valuable to us. So, this is already going on longer than I thought. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, you know how I am. I tend to ramble. So here are the games for this month. There's going to be Fall of the Tomb Raider. Again, that's scheduled. I plan on doing it daily until probably at least halfway into the month, probably longer than that. Fallout 4 is going to continue, but it's going to drop to about 4 times a week. That may fluctuate. Metal Gear Solid 5. Honestly, I'm not really enjoying that game. Like, I kind of dread going back to it. I think it's just due to some bad experiences I've had lately, so I might mix up my playstyle to kind of refreshen it for me. But it's dropping down to 1 time a week. A lot of you aren't watching it anyway, and I totally understand that. I don't find it that enjoyable to watch myself. So that's understandable. That's fine. But it's dropping to 1 day a week. Blade and Soul, Kung Fu Master, and Blade and Soul Force Master. Those shall continue, and they plan on being weekly probably until I hit max level, 45. And then I'll probably pick one of the classes and do like high level instances, maybe some PvP, things like that. I'd actually like to do more leveling up classes with that game because I actually do enjoy the leveling up process. A few people have suggested Assassin. That is a class that I'm interested in. We'll see, but with so much else going on, I don't see me starting a new leveling series for Blade and Soul until at least one character is at max level and I drop it from daily to anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. Don't Starve Together is still ongoing. We did kind of reboot it. I don't even know if we want to call it a reboot because I feel like a lot of people apparently die around winter. But we did kind of restart. We had a rough winter. We made it through the winter, but we kind of got boned afterwards, and it was going to be super difficult to recover. So we went ahead and restarted. The people watching that really seem to enjoy it, which quite honestly surprises me, but pleases me a lot. Because, the first thing, because it wasn't even my idea. If you're watching the series, it was actually Sarah's idea and Donnie's idea. They came to me and said, oh, we should do this. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, what's interesting about this? It's just us screwing around and talking, but people enjoy it, and hey, that's cool. I've mostly been enjoying it. There's a lot of design decisions I strongly disagree with, but it is what it is, and I've mostly enjoyed it. And like I said, the people watching it, I've heard a lot of really good positive feedback. So those who are interested in that type of thing, I think you will enjoy the series. So definitely check it out. Now, the only new thing that should be starting this month is the Black Desert Online Beta. It starts back sometime. Let me open my calendar real quick, stealthily here. But yeah, the beta starts again pretty soon. Again, the actual game goes released next month, so obviously be playing it there. Yeah, it looks like the closed beta 2 phase starts on February the 18th. So I plan on starting to record then. So again, you'll see daily uploads until the beta is over for that game. What's not coming? The best of 2015 video. I talked about that, but I thought about it and I looked at the games I played. I didn't play that many new games for 2015, and I feel like it would have been a pointless video. I feel like I would have been making it just because everybody else makes it, because I didn't play enough new games in 2015 to really warrant a best of. So I skipped it. But spoiler alert, my favorite game of 2015 was Witcher 3. By a pretty significant margin. I think it was definitely the best game of the year that I played anyway. Lastly, there'll also be no XCOM 2, at least not for the foreseeable future. I loved XCOM, but I'm not playing it for a few reasons. One, I've got so much other stuff going on right now. And two, I play that game very slowly. I'm very cautious when I play that game, and I take my time, I check every angle, and I still miss stuff, but I tend to be very slow, even on normal difficulty, and I'm not very good at that game, so that makes me take it even slower. So I don't think it's very interesting for you guys to watch. I think it would be more interesting, frankly, to watch somebody who's good at the game, and not me. Like I said, I love it. I'm just not good at it, and I take too long to do anything. That's the two main reasons I'm not doing it. I would like to actually play it later. Maybe that would be a stream game. Maybe that'd be a decent stream game that I eventually put on YouTube. But I don't see it happening in the near future. There's a lot of other stuff I want to do instead of that I think would be more interesting to watch for more people. So first off, apologize. I definitely went on too long. I swear to God. I tried to get the first part of this with the essential stuff. In my head, I'm like, okay, this needs to not run over 12 to 13 minutes, and we're heading towards 18 minutes now. So I apologize. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about in-depth stuff, but for those of you who just wanted kind of the semi-short overview, that part's done. Thank you guys for listening. Definitely answer the questions I asked earlier. Leave comments in the comment section below, and I will see you next month. But for those who are going to stick around, let's talk about some other things. First of all, behind the curtain type stuff, you may have noticed there, my audio quality has dropped. In my opinion, pretty substantially here in the last month or so, give or take. There's a little bit of reverb, a little bit of echo. I don't know the specific name for this. Long story short, I moved my computer desk into a new room, and there's a little bit more echo in here. Technically, it's not awful, but I notice it when I listen, and it drives me up the wall. I'm trying to find some solutions, but it looks like I'm probably going to have to do what I didn't want to have to do and buy some soundproofing foam. So yeah, I'm also, if anybody knows of anyone, I'm actually looking for a sound engineer that I can pay for their services to have them advise me on getting my audio to the next level. I feel like my audio is not very good. The commentary audio, that is. I feel like it's behind what it should be. Like if you listen, and I don't care what your opinions are of these people. I'm just talking strictly their audio quality. But if you listen to people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Total Biscuit, they all have really excellent audio quality, and that's what I want. And I feel like I'm not even close to that. So I really want to fix that. So I'm going to see if I can find an audio engineer that I can work with remotely, most likely, to get some of that fixed up. But yeah, I probably will have to buy soundproofing foam. I don't know when that's going to happen. I was actually reluctant to mention it because I feel like it's one of those things that if you hadn't noticed before, now you're going to notice it all the time. I hope that doesn't happen. If it does, I totally apologize. But if you've noticed it, that's why. Because the room that I've moved in, I actually moved into my dining room, so the walls are a little bit more closed in. And I'll try a few other things that I've got in mind that might fix that, but we'll see. Also, again, still kind of behind the curtain type stuff. Channel wise, the channel has been incredibly healthy. In fact, I would say the last 2 months or so are probably the best I've ever had as far as like watch time, views, new subscribers, all that good stuff. So, I definitely, very thankful for you guys that are new, or thankful for you guys that have been around a while. Wow. I definitely appreciate it. I'm glad that you're here. But we are doing, it's doing very well. So that pleases me a lot. In fact, I was pulling up my dashboard now. I have gotten 653 subscribers in the last 28 days. That's substantially more than I typically get within a 28-day period. Normally, it would probably be around maybe half that. So yeah, it's doing very good. Fallout 4 is doing very good. Blade and Soul, the Kung Fu Master series in particular, is doing good. And some of my older Kung Fu Master videos are doing good, like the Summoner, because of the game going live. So yeah, I'm hoping to continue this trend. That's why I'm working hard to try to put out more and more content. And that's also why I'm focusing so much on Blade and Soul, because it's really helped a lot. Fallout also helped a lot with the unarmed, but that's starting to drop off a bit. But it still was definitely very, very handy, and I still get some new folks through that. And if it's anything like Skyrim, it will actually probably continue to draw people in for like 2 to 3 years. Because for like 2.5, 3 years, Skyrim was one of my big pulls for new subscribers. And, I played that. I did that series, the original one, when the game first came out. So anyway, yeah, very happy with channel performance. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks both new and old. Reason for the pacing change, I kind of talked about this before, but one of the main reasons I want to do it is it gives me a chance. As far as the pacing, what I mean is not doing videos every single day. With the longer videos, I mean, keep in mind, it used to be videos would be like 20 minutes long, and I would do daily. So that was 2 hours and 20 minutes of video per day. Now I'm averaging probably 40-ish minutes. So that would be twice that. So I just said, 4.5 hours. So now I'm doing 4.5 hours a week per series per week. And that's a heck of a lot of recording. And that's, obviously ignoring all the other boring stuff I have to do, like dishes and other stupid adult crap. So anyway, yeah, it's a lot to do. And I feel like if I break it up, it'll be easier to squeeze in other things. In particular, Let's Tries. I really dropped off with Let's Tries last year. And I've been wanting to come back to them. And so I've started doing that. And that's why I've scheduled to have at least 2 a week. More if I can, but probably more around 2 a week. So you can expect those. More tea times. I don't really do those as much as I want to. I get an idea and I'm like, oh, I should do that. And then I never research it enough. And I end up just kind of dropping it. And of course, to do more series, period, just to mix it up so I can, if you don't like this genre or this game or whatever, there'll be something for you to watch. Let's see, that's pretty much it. And even though this is the more in-depth, kind of boring side of the update, I'm not even going to waste your time with the bullshit that I have been dealing with trying to get the games to record at 1440p at 60 FPS. It's incredibly frustrating because with Tomb Raider, I can, with almost everything maxed at 1440p, I can stay at 50 to 60 FPS. However, the recording will be at 40, sometimes lower, because I can, with my recording software DxTory, I can see how fast it's writing to the drive, and it's writing at 40 versus 60. And believe me when I say I have spent hours and hours on this, not just recently, but over the course of a year, like here and there, trying it, can't fix it, abandon it. Try it a few months later, abandon it. So I have spent insane hours trying to get this fixed, and I just cannot find a fix. And finally, I'm like, look, there's got to be something. So I'm going to be posting on the DxTory forums. Unfortunately, the DxTory support sucks major ass. I don't expect a resolution or an answer from them, honestly. My biggest hope is that there's another user who sees my issue and is like, oh, I had that problem, let's fix it. And I have tried other things that I found on the web that they said, oh, these are the settings you want for DxTory. It's always the same thing. It always, I play at 60 and it records at like 40 or worse, depending on the settings. So I'm still trying to figure it out. If I had to use other recording software, that's fine, but it's, you know, it's just eating up so much of my time trying to fix it. But I really want to either just say, okay, this is either fixable or not. I can't imagine it's not possible. Like, it's just, and it's not a hard drive write speed issue before anybody says it. I've tested that thoroughly, and it is not an issue with the hard drive not being able to keep up with the write speeds. It's purely either the codec failing or the XTory failing. And I told you I wouldn't bore with the details, so I'll stop there. But it's been a royal pain in the ass, and I really hate dropping back to 1080p because, quite honestly, I was seriously considering buying a second 980 Ti and trying to go ahead and get on the 4K recording train. But, I mean, oh god, the technical hurdles on that is a real bastard. The amount of data you write is insane. It's just a whole new world of pain, and very expensive pain. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Very few people would be able to watch it at 4K anyway. So 1440p, I'll be happy with that. And then I have these other problems that I can't seem to fix. So 1080p for the time being. Again, I hope you guys don't mind. Honestly, I doubt too many people will. Whenever I ask, most people are like, oh yeah, I watch it at 720 or 1080 anyway. So I don't imagine you guys will notice. The biggest benefit you guys are going to see is a more consistent 60 FPS, which that I think is more important than the 1440p thing. Lastly, the last thing I noted here that I want to talk about was that I got a second desktop PC set up. I bought this cheap desktop for like $300 during Cyber Monday or Black Friday or one of those things. With the only thing it's for is to help me encode, because when I'm encoding a video, it eats up the CPU, and most games I can't play. If it's like a really lightweight game, it's fine, but I can't record. I definitely can't record, but I probably can't even play anything. Like if I'm prepping for a Let's Try, I can't really play anything. So it's a real pain in the ass, because once the computer is locked into encoding, that's pretty much it. I can do web stuff, obviously, but no games. And that wouldn't be as big of a problem, since I can just set it to encode while I'm asleep or while I'm at work. But if I have a lot of stuff recorded, it can take days to encode it all. So this second machine, I've actually got it set up now. I've got my workflow set up so that I can edit it on my main machine and then just encode it on the second one. So that way it's encoding on the second machine while I'm playing games or doing whatever I need to do, recording something else on the first one. So it's really, really awesome. So that should hopefully help with being more efficient and getting more stuff out. Anyway, we have rambled on quite long enough. Again, kudos to anyone who actually hung around and listened to this whole thing, almost 30 freaking minutes of it. Anyway, I've got to really work on getting these shorter. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for continuing to watch and comment and all that good stuff. Definitely make sure to follow me on Twitter. It's just at Vertigo Tea Party. But anyway, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.